Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
This
how
is
was
what we're
y'all's
talking about.
Valentine's Day? It
You
is.
know,
Because
I'll
we've
just get
all
it
been
out of the way.
married a
I hate it.
while.
13 years. So here's my Valentine's Day. My wife's birthday, Lindsay, is on the 12th. Our anniversary is the 13th. And Valentine's Day is the 14th. It's emotionally exhausting. I could only say I love you so many different ways, right? And you're the most important person to me in my life, etc. Right? So it was that. It was good though.
But you get it done all at once, and then you don't have to worry about it all year.
Or do you?
Like, you can't forget it.
Year? Like, you can't like work out one time and go like, I'm good. Like,
that's what I do.
You need some. You could do that. You could, but then like, is that healthy? Is that the best? How was y'all's? It's a made up holiday, right? It's made up. Candy sales go through the roof.
Yeah,
that's all I know. Roses, flowers.
Yeah,
anything wellness related.
Very romantic. I asked my husband if he would take my car for an oil change and wash it and clean it out. That was what I wanted for Valentine's Day. That's what he did, because I hate doing that.
Acts of service, love language. I like that.
So that's what he did. And then the kids, I bought the kids a cookie cake and some candy, sugar.
Yeah. So don't send me to the store to buy anything, because I'm like my mother. I'm like, oh, I need to get them candy. And I start with like, well, this one has this favorite, this favorite, this favorite. So I start with that. Then I'm like, okay, well, let me get one of these times 3. Oh, now I got that. I should probably get this $120 later, which is way. And they don't even eat the candy half the time. Like it just sits in the candy cabinet. We have a candy cabinet in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Just stays up there. People come over, we're like, do you need any candy? You want to take anything to go? They're like, sure. Like, here you go. They're like, what is wrong with y'all? What's happening here?
I was not prepared for the amount of candy you accumulate when you have children.
Oh, yeah. They really don't eat it. I mean, they'll go through their favorites. Halloween. They forget about it.
Yeah. Every school holiday, prizes for things. Yeah. Lots of candy in the house.
Yeah. It's good to have. It's good for you. Favorite candy. Let's go around here. Your favorite candy. Julie, your favorite candy. What would it be? What is it?
I don't know. You put me on the spot.
Oh, no.
Like chocolate almonds and chocolate. Cold. Has to be in the
fridge. Interesting.
Okay. All right. Now that's interesting. Cold.
But I'm not eating that right now. I'm being healthy. So.
Okay. Well, almonds sound kind of this lean quite healthy, like what you're doing, right?
Does it?
Is it dark chocolate almonds with salt on it?
That would be perfect. Dark chocolate almonds, cold.
That does sound good, but yeah, is that even candy at that point when it's dark chocolate? I like dark chocolate.
That sounds healthy to me. You get a little bit of protein.
Really
dark chocolate's
healthy
good for
fats,
your heart. Like
antioxidants. Perfect.
It's great.
What are y'all?
Beth, what about you?
Mine's very specific. It is peanut butter meltaways from a chocolatier located in Baltimore called Rebs.
Yeah, you're sending me some of those. I think you're sending.
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to send you some. My bad.
I'm added to your calendar. I think.
Oops.
Yeah, pop it on my calendar, please, Andrew. Schedule
peanut butter meltaways.
They are so good. Like
good.
I told Andrew this story already, but basically, my dad just visited us from Maryland, and he surprised my husband and I with each. It's either a half a pound or a pound. I'm going to tell myself it was a half a pound.
Yeah, that sounds good.
But we each got his and her boxes, which were then promptly labeled Dad and Mom, so that we don't fight over the peanut butter meltaways. And it's to the point where I can't eat regular chocolate. Like Hershey's chocolate, disgusting. Can't do it. I grew up on Rebs. It's amazing. So if you're from Baltimore and you know what Rebs is, shout out. You're my people.
I would say mine, my favorite candy, if I were to pick like one, which is really hard. So I'll go candy, then chocolate, because they're separate, right? Candy being more sugary based. You know, chocolate. If I had to pick one, now my favorite thing to do is combine candy and eat it at the same time. I'm doing like baby sign language right now. More. That was not on purpose, but I guess it does fit. But my favorite one, if you're just go to the store and buy it for me, if you're going to the Builder Show and you listen to us, the Haribo sour streamers. They usually have Target always has them, or Haribo sour streamers, the best.
Haribo.
They make gummy bears, right? And so this is like the sour Haribo. I like Haribo. My neighbor's Turkish, and he calls it Haribo. So that's what
I mean. That has some flavor.
I don't know if it's right or not, but
it.
I like that Haribo. And then Reese's would be the chocolate side.
You can't go wrong with Reese's.
The holiday ones, not like the normal ones. Has to be like the trees or the pumpkins or like the hearts. Like it has to be one of those.
Is it because there's a thinner layer of chocolate?
It's more peanut butter. Yeah, and I assume they're fresher Like they're made more recent, I assume. I don't know if that's true or not, but and that with coffee. So now we're going deeper. Reese's while drinking coffee.
Okay.
2 thumbs up. Like it tastes different. The coffee will taste different in your mouth, I swear. Try it yourself. I'm not crazy. Or peanut butter and chocolate. There we go. Should we just keep talking about candy? Who's seen the new Wonka movie, by the way? No one has seen it.
No.
Okay.
The new what?
The new Willy Wonka movie.
No.
Okay, watch it. So Beth, you have little people. Julie, you got little people. Yeah. I have little people. We all have little roommates here. Those are our kids. Get it? I think it's on only on Disney Plus or it's just Prime. Get it tonight or tomorrow night. Our kids love it, but it's a lot of songs. It's kind of like musical. It used to be a musical, like this version of it, but it's good. It's good.
Okay.
Watch it. Get
Noted.
candy and chocolate to eat at the same time. Then you could participate in real life with the movie.
That would be fun.
Do it. There you go.
A little
There's your weekend plans.
chocolate-themed evening.
Chocolate-themed evening. Super healthy. It's how home shopping should be. Ship out some candy. Browse our website. Maybe not. Well, let's get started. Welcome to episode 326. I am the self-proclaimed ad doctor, Andrew Peak. And with me today is Beth Russell and Julie Jarnagin.
Hello.
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 We're here. After you heard all of our candy. So let's see. This one comes out next week. So yeah, you're hearing this right before the Builder Show. I think. I don't know. Olivia's in charge. She tells us what to do. So hopefully it's right before the Builder Show. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think so.
All of us on are going too.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Julie, if you have a room to stay in, or you
I have a room to stay in.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yes.
I'm also worried. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
And
Not
Julie's
sleeping in the lobby.
talking.
And Julie's talking.
Mhm.
More
I'm
importantly,
speaking.
Julie's speaking.
I'll be in Custom Central though. So if you're in sales and marketing room,
Okay.
you have to come over to the custom room to see me speak with Erin from Ideal and Rachel from Keystone.
Ooh,
That's a good group.
That's a fun little party.
What's a
Erin's
lot of
fun.
smart ladies.
Well, that's why I got them. That's why I see that's makes my job easier.
It
Just
does.
rope in a couple really smart people and then,
And both of them
do their
smile
thing.
and they could just like light up the room. Like,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
like, I say that like, oh, of course everyone smiles, but no, like those two particularly.
Mhm.
And I feel like Erin laughs like uncontrollably loud. Is that true? Maybe I'm making this up.
Yeah,
I'll
she was
pretend
my
it's
next door neighbor for a while when I lived in Oklahoma.
Oh,
so.
bless your soul.
No way.
Okay.
That's awesome.
How'd that go?
Yeah.
Oh
Great.
my.
Great.
It's great. It's great. Sounds like fun. Custom. So Vegas compared to Orlando, so much better. It's such an easier setup.
Yeah.
You could find everyone so quickly. So I'd imagine here's Sales Central. You're like a hallway over, I'd imagine. I haven't looked to see like how the map is, but it's probably like right there. I'm excited. Good. Who else is speaking? Jen.
Jen is
Jen is
speaking
speaking.
about
Mhm.
realtor
Yes.
relations.
That's what it was.
Mhm.
Very nice.
I think on Thursday. So if you're there on Thursday, make
Which
sure
you
you
should
go
be.
see Jen speak.
That's always hard. Everyone tries
Or
to fly out
Wednesday. Is it
Thursday.
Wednesday or Thursday. I'm losing track of my days. Thursday.
They all run together. We got the Nationals Tuesday
Yeah.
night. That's gonna be a late night for us East Coast people. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm asleep at the table, there's no disrespect, but it might be 3 in the morning
Zero
my
judgment.
time. Zero judgment. Zero judgment. Then Wednesday, yeah, it will be a busy week. That is for sure. Well, let's get into some story time. Who wants to go first? How about Beth? I'll pick on you. Beth is up
No,
first.
I love being picked on. It makes me happy. It brings me back to my childhood.
Okay, this is dramatic.
I'm just kidding. I grew up with 3 brothers. I love you guys.
There you go.
Yeah, for me, it's just like, we always go through these times where all of our conversations are kind of rolling into one with our builder partners, where the same theme is kind of popping up left and right. And for me recently, and I think even we've talked about it, Julie, with Jackie, that it's been kind of a common theme of just like communication, internal communication with whether it be like your higher ups or your team or things like that. And particularly around reporting itself, like the struggle to get back into the groove of reporting. And I don't know if it's just because everyone knows there's more activity happening and it feels more alive than it did in the previous quarter, or everyone's like wrapping up still from last year and planning for this year, which I feel like has rolled over a little bit longer than normal. But there's just been a lot of conversations about this. And the thing I keep reminding my marketers that I want everyone else to remind themselves is you have to keep in mind who your audience is. And we need to stop just delivering numbers. and just relying on numbers being spoken out loud in a room. And we actually have to dive into what those numbers actually mean and the why, like show that you know why those numbers are what they are. Like 57% contribution. Cool. What does that mean? Why is it that number? Why wasn't it what that number the month before? Like start, I know we said this months ago, but peeling back the layers of that onion, I'm going to bring it back. We just really need to like tell that story better and showcase ourselves and our knowledge and the impact that our department has on the company and the success of the company by showing like we know what the heck we're talking about and what we're doing and how it relates to the bottom line. So really just think about that. It's come up a lot lately.
And building the confidence to talk about it. I think a lot of people, then I talk through it with a builder and I'm like, you know, this stuff, like they'll come on, they're asking me this and I don't know how to answer it. And we go through it and they're like, yeah, I know all that, but they're just, they don't have the confidence and just practice of communicating that. So I think just build that confidence, whether you have to go set up some meetings with different departments to talk through it, to get some practice, whatever it is, the more you do it, the more you'll get comfortable with it.
Yeah, build it into your system, like into what you deliver every single month. I'm going to give you some numbers and I'm going to give you some quick bullet points as to why these numbers are those numbers. It doesn't have to be like when we say story, we're not talking about a gigantic narration of like what is going on and every single layer. It's giving them a little bit more than just a number.
Agreed. Yeah, context.
Agreed. As far as building that confidence, one thing that Kevin, who's in Guatemala right now, has really taught me is if you cannot articulate it, writing it down, then the likelihood of you communicating it accurately with your mouth, with your words, is probably not going to be there. So to me, building confidence by not writing like word for word as if you're like rehearsing, but like the spend is up because of this. Here's what we did. And then you'll actually have to think about, well, like I'm using that word intentionally. I'm writing these things. That should, to me, at least that builds the confidence. And then you got to get your reps in. Like there's no way to do it. If you do it like once a month, that's 12 times a year. Like who's good at anything if you do it only 12 times?
And we've all been doing this for well over 10 years individually. And we still do that. We still put in to practice writing something out. Like before we do a presentation, whether it's at IBS or at the summit, we jot down our ideas. We write out what it is we're going to talk about. We create an outline and we work through it and we practice it. So you need to do the same thing in your everyday deliverables.
Can you give some tough love, Beth?
What do you mean?
I want to pull it. I want you to be mean, not mean.
Gassy?
I want you to, I want you to say it because I'm being me.
Yeah.
Do you feel some people, and this is not speaking to anyone individually, this is really Andrew's thoughts, but I want Beth to say it because I'm being Andrew.
Yeah.
Do you think there could be a lack of confidence because there truly is a lack of knowledge?
Oh, absolutely.
Not because like, oh, I'm just so nervous talking to that person. Like if it wasn't that person, I'd be completely fine. It's like, no, like you just don't really know your stuff enough to talk about it. Ugh.
Yeah.
But the quicker you face that reality or the truth in that, I'm not saying that's everybody. I'm saying that could be some people. That's me at sometimes too. Like, hey, go talk about SEO with people. I don't know SEO. Like I know generalities around it, but like for me to talk SEO, that's not me. So if that is not you, like you need to up your knowledge somehow.
Yeah. Or you're just like, maybe there's a gap in the company at that level, and that's okay too. Like if you're not that person that can wrap your mind around these really high level strategic concepts and be able to communicate appropriately around them and educate other people, well, you should be working towards that if you want to grow your career, A. But if it's also not your strength and that really is a huge gap that's within your organization, then maybe that gap needs to get filled.
Yeah. Very true. Fun times. Honesty. Such a lonely word. Julie, SWOT.
Yeah.
I think
SWOT
I saw
analysis.
this on Instagram.
Did y'all have to do SWOT analysis at any of your other jobs? Have y'all done a SWOT analysis before?
Here, kind of on myself. Like, what's my week? But more like, what am I weak at? Because I'll look at it that way first.
Break it down for us, Julie. What is a SWOT analysis?
So for people who aren't familiar with it, it's kind of a management system that you look at strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And when I was at Idle Homes, we used to all fill this out, everybody in the company, I think. every single year, then it would go back to management team and everybody would look at all the responses and put it together. But I think it's helpful to break it down on a smaller schedule. You can do it for your own career and life, or you can do it. This example I had given on Instagram was just for your content marketing. So strengths, what do you already do well? What do you already have a good, consistent routine for? Weaknesses, where do you need to improve? Are your resources adequate? Do you need more camera or software or whatever it is? Opportunities, what are your goals? And then threats, what are things outside of your control that could happen? So threats was always the hardest for me to think of when I was doing these, but I think of threats as something like, what if Facebook banned us forever and never let us back on? Like, what would be our plan B? Something like that. Like, we can't expect everything to stay the same. Sometimes there are outside forces. So I think it's a fun activity to do yourself and look at the answers, but also give it to your department or your supervisor or a few other people you trust in the company who are familiar with your strategy. I wouldn't send it out to the whole company and want them to comment on how we're doing on our video on social or email marketing because they don't know the whole picture. But somebody who is enough invested in what you do and your bigger strategy to fill this out and then sit down, and it's going to help you make a plan for 2024. So definitely. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. So 4 areas.
I was just pulling up on my phone your beautiful graphic you made for that. That's on Instagram from your building certainty.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. Yes. Who made that?
I love the idea of applying it to a specific core responsibility or like a specific deliverable and kind of analyzing each of those categories individually versus just the holistic approach. I feel like all of us in some capacity have done this where we've applied it to just our role in general. Like, how am I professionally performing? But when you apply it to like, okay, this is one of my specific responsibilities that I am held accountable for delivering. How am I performing? Mm-hmm. What are my opportunities, et cetera, so that I can get better here, 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 and here, like reporting.
Reporting would be a good one. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, and reporting. I like that one too. So do the content one, then do a reporting SWOT analysis.
Yeah, that's fun. Let's go. I want to do that on. Sorry, team. You're going to do a SWOT analysis on yourself.
Blame Julie.
Builder show.
Sorry.
Julie's fault.
Sorry, guys.
Julie's fault. Oh, let's see. Mine is this kind of brand experience. I was branded. Yeah, I was influenced by the brand and then disappointed by the same brand. So there's this company.
Spill the tea.
Yeah, spill the tea. I put lights up in my office. I like to buy I don't mind spending money if it's like, oh, it's $100, $50. I'm just like, all right, let's try it out. So I have this light behind me in the corner, whatever direction. Mm-hmm. Over there, cool. I work early in the morning sometimes. I don't like overhead lights. This is like what's wrong with this guy? Like they're stressing me out. Like, ooh, just like don't like it. I have a window right here. So I'm big on the lighting in my office. It needs to be nice and peaceful and calm. So I've been slowly upgrading the lights in my office to make it fit that vibe. So there's this one brand, Govee. I think it's Govee. Yeah, Govee. They're kind of like the leader in LED lighting of better things. Now you go on Amazon and type in like LED light strip. There's like 100 different brands. They're all imported from China. Some dude flew them over, thousands of them, ships them to Amazon, fulfilled by Amazon, ships them out. There's no quality control, no anything. So Govee, it just works. They're a little bit more expensive, not that much more. It's like $60 versus 30. So you're still not spending that much money in regards to like the scheme of things. You plug it in, it works, connect to your phone, it just functions. I'm like, oh, this is like the best seamless product I've used for this type of thing. Mm-hmm. Then this weekend, I'm adding lights around the house, have to climb the attic because I was marketed by their brand. I had this great brand experience with that. I'm like, cool, let me try out. There's this, I don't know if you've seen them, they're like galaxy light projectors. Have you seen those?
We have one for each child and we're obsessed.
Okay, well, I have one. I'm an adult child, so there's one in my room. Lindsay and I's room. We're
my
children.
9-year-old has one.
Okay, well, there you go.
They're awesome.
Get one for your room. You have the TV on at night. It could be pitch black and put this on. You're like, oh, this is like, again, chill vibes, relax. When you need to relax. So I'm like, I'm gonna get theirs. It was more money, so I assumed it was like $130. On Amazon, they're like $20. Like, yeah, stock. It's kind of like a stocking stuffer type thing or something for your kids, whatever. So I'm like, I'm gonna try this one out. Like all their lights were amazing. This is $100 something bucks. It better be freaking amazing. Well, guess what? Pile of garbage. Like awful. Like this thing was awful. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, I have to be doing something wrong. Spent 20, 30 minutes like trying to troubleshoot. I'm like, I'm doing something wrong, doing something wrong. No, I go online. I didn't even bother to look at the reviews because I assumed based on the brand, I bought it directly from their website when I was buying other lights. Like, oh, it'd be a great product. Oh my gosh, awful. Like just like completely disappointed. And you go online and same experience. Like, this is great. I have over 40 lights in my house from them. This is a POS. Beep, 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 all this stuff. I'm like, what in the world? How are they getting this wrong? So now I'm going through the return process. It's just an email you send. Hey, I need to return my item. Here's the order number. Well, that's sketchy. Like, that's not good. So now I'm like, oh, now I'm on this end. The other products are still great, like amazing, but this thing's awful. The return process is, we'll see. They haven't got back to me yet. It's Thursday. I started on Tuesday afternoon. So we'll see. So
not looking promising.
It's like the power of brand, and then it could quickly go away because of process they have in place. So I blame process on. They don't have a legit process for their return policy. Carrying that over to Builder World, warranty. So they could be great referrals. They buy the home, something disappointing happened. Now warranty's bad, and there's a thing disappointing with the home, but they're still like giving you a shot, which is me. I'm still giving Govee, which is the brand, a shot. But I'm like, oh, I'm slowly like, maybe it's not so great. Maybe it's not. Maybe they just like happen to have something better they're importing from China. It's actually not their product. I don't know. But it seems very relatable. Yeah, the cracks are forming. So the whole experience. So SWOT analysis, strength, these products are great. Opportunity, their opportunity is fixing the return policy and probably looking at the return metrics. This light, look online, just Galaxy Pro, whatever it's called. Everyone says it's garbage. Like, don't sell it. Like if the return rate on that is an outlier compared to other products, like let's just get rid of it. It's ruining it, or fix it, replace it, whatever it may be. And I'd imagine every builder, if they're tracking metrics on, say, different warranty things, like, we have a lot of, with this sub contractor, whatever, I'm sure they have this. We have tons of warranty work when they do the painting or trim or whatever. Well, let's shift them out, shift them back in. Of course, that's over a long time frame because it's not just instant like e-commerce would be. But it's interesting seeing that like in real life play out. Like I got marketed to, disappointment. We'll see if they can fix it. Wow. You want to go on to some news? Got some great news today.
Yeah.
The first one up from Zillow, hot off the press. Home shopping early. Wait a sec here. Let's rewind. Home shopping early May.
No, home
Is this
shopping
written
early.
really weird? Is this like really strange? Home shopping early, comma, may pay off as price cuts abound. Should there be a comma there?
No, but
okay, I can't read.
I can see where it needs a pause.
I can't read, everybody. Home shopping early may pay off as price cuts abound. Written really strange. Who wrote this?
I'll agree with that.
Fix it. So what are they saying, Beth or Julie?
Yeah, if a home is well priced, that it's selling quickly, and if it's not well priced, it's not selling quickly.
That is genius. That is genius. So they're seeing,
what a thunk it.
Who would thunk it?
Exactly. I like.
So go ahead.
They actually said if it's the price is right and it has digital curb appeal, which I like that digital curb appeal. Also, if you're doing a good job showing what you have available on on Zillow, they're talking about Zillow for this, but that also plays into content.
I love that phrase, digital curb appeal.
Digital curb appeal. I know.
That's easy for those who don't like get it. I don't get it. Reference from the movie Big. I don't get it. Like that's easy. Like your site doesn't have that digital curb appeal. It doesn't really mean anything, but it does mean something, right? It's like there's no curb appeal for here. And you're like, I get it. Yeah, it's easy. Like big words.
It's interesting how this one relates to the next one. So I'm excited to dive into the next one because it makes me think of some houses that were sitting in my neighborhood.
I think my takeaways from this. Okay, so it says just over 1 in 5 houses on Zillow saw a price cut in January. Okay, cool. That's equal to about last year. Okay, that's not. So there's there's no news there. But what I see is they reference different markets and which ones are cutting prices, which ones not cutting prices. And it's just like we talk about, like during pandemic, it's like, whatever happened in Austin or certain cities in Dallas or Texas, like they're at the bleeding edge of change. And then it's just a matter of time, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months later, that the other markets would see the price cuts. So right now they're talking about Florida and Texas are seeing the most price cuts. I think we're just last to see them compared to West Coast cities, like maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. So it's like just this wave is happening. It's like we're at a baseball game. It's like we're at the Super Bowl. Someone starts the wave. I don't know if that happened. I can't afford to go to the Super Bowl, nor would I spend the money to go to the Super Bowl. That's probably it more. Like it starts over there. It's just a matter of like, now it's our state's turn to have some price cuts on here. Prices are still up.
They're tying that back to the inventory is rising. So first of the year, always there's an increase in inventory that'll continue to increase in the spring market. And it's just supply and demand because there's more supply on the market. It's forcing some of those homes that were overpriced to be cut down so they can get sold. So it all ties that in together.
It's all connected. It's like a big machine, isn't it?
And that's why a lot of those hot markets are getting hit first because they were really low supply, driving up those, prices really high. But now that there's more inventory on the market, those prices can't stay quite that high up. Sure, there's more to it than that, but simplified version.
I think simple is better. It's more easily understood. So let's complicate it some more and go on to this. I think it's a great article from Business Insider, and it's not written strange, unlike the one from Zillow with the title, "The Myth of the Housing Bubble. It's time to face facts. Sky high home prices are here to stay."
I like this one a lot. And the reason why I was tying the other one into this one is because it talks about how the expectation when you say a bubble is that there's going to be a pop, and people have just kind of waited and waited and waited and waited for it to occur. And it hasn't really occurred, but there's been, like you were talking about, this small ripple effect that's been kind of going on. And it made me think about our street in our neighborhood, because this particular neighborhood in where we live outside of Augusta, Georgia, skyrocketed in price. Like homes were selling for like the 300s, and then it shot up all the way to like the 700s on the same streets and similar size homes, etc. And there was these two homes that were right around the corner from us, and they went on the market. Their prices weren't outlandish, but they were certainly much higher than what the original purchasers got them for. And they just sat there. And these homes are wonderful homes. They have a couple of nuances, like their backyard is a little slopey that probably kept them on the market in comparison to some of our neighbors' homes. But they sat there, and I just kept watching the price go down and down and down. And so internally I'm freaking out because I'm like, well, there's our home value. That stinks. But then when you look at it full picture, when they finally sold and they went pending, they were still $200,000 more than what they purchased them for originally. And it kind of talked about that, like even in the market, as it adjusts itself, it corrects itself a little bit, and prices are starting to go down slightly in some markets. The equity that people have in their homes right now, because prices are still maintaining higher than average, is still incredibly strong. And I think that, so you have to remember that when all this chaos is happening. And I think people are starting to catch on, like the buyers are starting to catch on. Not only are they getting used to the incentives that the builders are putting out there, and it's sort of become an expectation, but they're getting more comfortable sitting and watching to see if the home that they like will drop $10,000 if they just wait 15 more days.
True.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked this article because it really, if you need a good explanation of what a bubble is and how what we're going through is different than that, and how it's different from what happened in 2008. 2008, we had all the lenders doing sketchy, weird things, getting people mortgages. So what they're saying is that prices rising even quickly is not necessarily a bubble on its own. That's not necessarily a bad thing. If it's just fundamentally a supply and demand issue, then that's fine. That's not a bubble. What happens is if there's some outside force or something weird going on that's artificially inflating those prices, then that's eventually going to pop, which is what happened in 2008. So I thought he did a really good job. If you or on anybody in your team, if they keep bringing up this concept of a bubble, This is a good article. It's long. It's going to take you a minute.
Yeah.
You're going to have to buckle down to read it. But it's a great overall explanation of how this is different than what has happened in the past.
Yeah, I appreciate the same thing there too. I think one thing that really stuck out as far as like, well, why did prices rise so quickly during the pandemic? Like at the start of it, and I'm trying to find his exact quote, but that'll take me too long to find. Essentially, there was an overabundance of credit-worthy buyers. So take that. A lot of people had equity in their homes. Everyone had better than average credit for the time being. And then combine that with extremely low interest rates, it created this environment for like mass purchasing of homes. Supply, demand, tons of demand, supply. And so then as it rose, prices, demand rose, prices go up. It's like just how it works. That's normal behavior. What he doesn't get into, which I think we need to like really consider, is remember all these things that we did during the pandemic, like the whole world did. Like, oh, you actually talked to your neighbors. You did this. Like all of a sudden, every restaurant was like, we got family meals to go. We're here. Be safe. Blah, blah, blah. Put stuff on. Like, right. Looking back, you're like, oh my gosh, kind of roll your eyes at it, right? Like, but every restaurant was doing it. And then that we had the restaurants had to go pick up or whatever it's called, like curbside pickup. Text your number of the parking spot you're in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Right. So a lot of human behavior was happening where we're just mimicking each other, which I think is super common, like for anything. But this just happened to be home purchases, and everyone was able to purchase. Not everyone, but buying a home was easily done because of credit, and then interest rates were super low. So it created this crazy environment for all this demand to go up. But what I get from this article is like, well, are prices ever going to not pop like a bubble, but will they even go back down? Like, is there even a go back? There's like to even say that no, prices will not go back down. Some markets will cool off, or like maybe things are priced at a premium, but I personally think we're not in that phase anymore of that kind of premium pricing, which I think could have been 2022 into 2023 before interest rates really cooled off. Like people were bidding. Like I remember talking with a builder, a guy who's had a builder who's like, hey Andrew, we like sold this home. People bid on it just like an existing home, which isn't normal for a home builder. Like, hey, the price is 500, the price is 500. They let people bid on new homes. If you remember that whole phase, things were going like 50, 100, 150K over the asking price, the original asking price. So their margins were absurd. And this builder was like, I kind of feel bad about this. I'm like, you didn't pick the price. You actually set the price lower. Like, should you feel bad? No, but like, so those were like the premium price. Maybe those sales shouldn't have happened, as far as that price is not a fair price. But will things go back down? I just don't see how they could. The fundamentals aren't there for them to go down unless there's some like catastrophic like economic event.
Yeah.
And
outside
it probably
force.
wouldn't be economic. It'd be an outside force, like probably not even economic related. It'd be some other type of awful disaster type situation, right?
Yeah.
That would cause some type of turbulence in it. And that'd be like, we don't even want to talk about like the effects of that, like job loss, all those sorts of things. But would that even go to pre-pandemic levels? Probably not.
No. We own 3 homes in 3 very separate different markets. One in Texas, one in Maryland, one in Georgia. Those 2 of them went through the process of, their prices going up or their value going up during this bubble, if you want to say it. It's a bubble. It's not a bubble. We just confirmed that. So forgive me for saying that. But their equity went up, right? Like their value went up. It has not gone down.
No.
All different markets. The 2 that we've owned the longest, the one in Texas, the one in Maryland, they went up like substantially.
Good.
There's no movement. They're staying there.
They're staying there. Yeah.
If it was going to happen, it probably would have already happened when the interest rates shot up. So when the interest rates shot up, if there wasn't the supply and demand issue, prices would have fallen. But there was more people wanting to buy homes with decent credit than there were homes available. So we would have seen it already, but that's still playing into it. So like you said, it would really take a hard economic hit, I think, to see big movement. So I think it's just kind of balancing. Yeah, there's little ups and downs, but we're not going back to the old days.
No. Or they talk about there's like Airbnb bubble. Yeah, I think there might be like, they reference like these trends as far as like individuals, myself, this is not myself, but an individual like myself, over debting myself to have my Airbnb debt fueled empire, which is no different than like an institution doing it, but it's because an individual, there's more criticism on it. So is there potentially an Airbnb bubble? I think it's possible. If you look at Airbnb versus hotels, the value proposition isn't as strong for certain Airbnbs. And other ones, like we're renting one over spring break. It's on the river, Rainbow River. If you're down here in Florida, you know what I'm talking about. Spring-fed river, perfect place. There's no hotels on that. So that is to me, a perfect Airbnb investment. If you're in Orlando, there's thousands of Airbnbs that are literally right next to a hotel. And you're like, wait, the cleaning fee is $200 a night. I could just go to like the Ritz-Carlton for $100 more. And it's like an amazing experience versus like this one. I have to like take the sheets off the bed, put it by the wash machine, and there's like a 30-step checklist to leave the house. So maybe Airbnb, there could be something there, but the houses, yeah, I agree. I don't see it. Now on to the third article. And does this influence this lack of a bubble? Let's put our conspiracy theories hats on. We don't have to, but we could pretend. Investors bought 26% of the country's most affordable homes in the fourth quarter, the highest share on record. Let me add to that. So that's the headline. Investors bought 26% of the country's most affordable homes in the fourth quarter, the highest, this is the important part, the highest share on record. But if you scroll down and read all of the article, where did it go? Oh
it dropped 11% from a year earlier. Is that what you're looking for?
Yes, year over year, it's down 11%. So their percentage increased to, what was it, 26, but overall it did decrease.
Yeah.
Is this holding prices up? Because this reduces supply for normal residential buyers. Does that reduction in supply, does their investor purchasing have that big of an influence to reduce supply enough to keep prices more inflated? If we think they're inflated, this is just rhetorical questions, not my belief, just kind of devil's advocate questions. I have no idea, but I think it's a question to ask.
We see a lot of big builders moving towards that really small, affordable product. There's a particular one that we were just talking about as a group, located in like the San Antonio area, and the home prices are able to be around $145,000.
Super cool.
And they're essentially like a neighborhood of tiny homes, right? And there's definitely a market for that. But the goal of that product, from talking to the companies that are implementing product like this, is to maintain momentum and provide something that is affordable for the people that can't afford the higher priced homes as a result of this market. And what's interesting, my first question was, when I saw that, I was like, oh, I wonder if they have an investor cap in place. And typically a lot of developers will implement an investor cap in their neighborhood. We dealt with this a lot in Texas because property was just being bought up like crazy because the land and homes are so affordable in Texas compared to a lot of other places. And they knew a lot of people were migrating there. So it was just like a hotbed for investors. And so we had to have investor caps in all of our communities. And I was just curious. I was like, I wonder what their investor cap looks like here, because if we create a product for the masses, for the people, that is intended to be more affordable and thus more attainable for people to start their homeownership journey, we can't then have that product just swooped in and collected by investors who are just going to flip it, sell it higher, or rent it for an insane amount of money each and every month.
Agreed. Which I think it's worth, should there be regulation on that? I don't know. That'd be interesting. Because to me, there is a big, the biggest wealth builder is a home. Some people are like, no, it's a liability because there's debt, whatever. Like, if you look at it, a normal person, they have their home, they're paying their mortgage over the course of their lifetime. That is going to be a huge driver of wealth for them compared to someone who just rents, right? Rent 100% loss of the money. You're buying Beth's 2 homes that she's not living in. Thank you, renters. Perfect. You're setting Beth up for retirement. That's the point, right? But you still need your own primary residence to build your own wealth in. So yeah, that is interesting if that could be holding up prices there. But it does get into thinking about like build for rentals as for single family build for rent. And what percent of that is in here, which to me, that's kind of outside the scope of these purchases, because it's They're never
Yeah, it
really like
depends on
on
where
the
they're getting
market.
all their data from. Because
Yeah.
like
I just
I
want
have
more
a
data.
lot of
Like, give it to me.
experience on the build for rent side, and we didn't
Mhm.
have to like log all of that
Right.
in the MLS.
Like it's separate. It's really like it's really a commercial property. Like it's one commercial unit, just they're not attached, sort of. You
I
could
would
look at it
also
that
be
way.
curious to know how many of those investors are just like individuals, like
Yeah.
me and my husband wanting to go buy one rental house to make money, and how many are big corporations, going in and buying that, because it makes a difference too. Because if
Yep.
that's on your books and you need to sell off some stuff, you would sell off those houses for super cheap and take a loss, for whatever reason. If you're a big corporation, an individual is going to want to keep the equity and get back what they made on it. So there's some differences too.
Yeah.
Like, is this just somebody who owns one rental house is a little extra income, or is this a huge entity that has gone and bought these and are just selling and buying things? So I think it makes a difference.
I think what's fun about this
Absolutely.
conversation is this kind of leads back to Beth, your story about communicating data and numbers to anyone within your organization. So here we all kind of collectively agreed without talking about it. We need to define what is an investor.
Yep.
Is it someone like, I'm not sure where they pull their data from, but if it's from like property appraiser, I have no idea. So if I could be like, Andrew, you're an idiot. It doesn't work that way. Do you have homestead? Do you not have homestead? Is the mailing address the same as the primary address of the home? If it's separate, usually it means you don't live there. Someone else will be living there. If it's homestead, you have to live there X amount of the year, X percent of the year. So just within this, we're like, well, what is an investor? Relating that back to Beth's story. Well, what is a link click on Facebook comparable to a click on Google? Like, no, they're measured differently. So just understanding the metrics and the definitions is backing you up there on your story, Beth. Like super important to know, because you might have these questions. Like us, we're like, well, we kind of want to look at this deeper. Like, what is an investor? Like accredited, not accredited, institutional, not institutional. But this is two really good articles. The Redfin one, Redfin, I feel like Redfin they really have great content. Like they put things out. It's really in depth. And same with Business Insider. Any other takeaways from this one? I don't know. It's a good read.
Yeah, it was fun to read. It obviously got us thinking and asking questions, which is always the best type of article, right?
Yeah, agreed. If you want more, it's like we want part 2.
Let's go. Give us part 2, Redfin. We're here for it.
Part 2. I want to know what the best buffet is in Las Vegas for the Builder Show. That's not related to any of this. What even in Viva Las Vegas?
Viva? No. No. I don't.
You don't like people you don't like people potentially touching things?
No, it's not. I don't know what it is, but it's just not. It's not my jam. I mean, if it's the only option, I'll eat it. But I also just don't want to pay $40 to just binge it. And I will eat. Like, it's not that I won't eat, because I will eat, and I'll eat a lot. But like, it's not. If I want to pay $40 a plate, I want to get like an experience. And that's not the experience I'm looking for.
China Poblano or something like that.
My obsession with China Poblano is well known, and I have no shame.
Okay, so let's just go into our current favorites and hates. So, Beth, one of your favorite restaurants is China Poblano.
Yes.
So I look forward to that in Vegas and try that out.
It's like, I think I like hyped it up too much last year, because we all went. Everyone was like, it's good. But it's just makes me really happy, and it's somewhat nostalgic for me for my college days of being able to eat tacos and Chinese food in one sitting.
So don't fly after you eat this food.
No, it's so good. It's so good.
That sounds good.
It's heavenly. 10 out of 10, but I can never get reservations. So like, maybe we should stop talking about it.
That's true. Don't go. That's terrible. Do you have a hate?
Okay. And maybe I should have kept this for story time. Okay. So I don't know, but you know how every year around the holidays, Amazon's 2-day shipping isn't 2-day shipping because there's like an influx of people ordering
10 days before. Yeah.
Yeah. So around the holidays that happened where the 2-day shipping stopped, and I was like, all right, well, it'll come back.
Okay.
It never came back for us. They just kept it away. And Mike and I were like, have you noticed that there's no longer 2-day shipping available here? Yeah.
And you're still paying Prime. I
I'm
wouldn't want to
still
be
paying Prime.
I know.
But it's Prime free shipping. Like they pulled a fast one on us, and
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how much of an inconvenience this is for my life.
I think Andrew can get 1-day shipping probably where you are,
like,
can't you?
yeah, I'm like, like,
we
well,
could
right
do that
now,
in Maryland too.
I could almost get stuff 5 to 10 p.m. or 4 to 8 a.m. the next day.
Yeah.
Mostly everything we want. Yeah, we're
Unsubscribe.
spoiled. Like that would be like where you really, that's like relocation. That should be like Amazon Prime, same day, next day should be like a feature on the website. That's a big deal.
We've lived a lot of places around the country, and my two biggest things, it's not even pertaining to like shopping, really, like the availability of certain stores and access to certain stores that I'm used to having. It is proximity to a major airport.
Yeah.
And now Amazon Prime.
Yeah, the airport's important.
Yeah. So anyways, that's my rant. Thank you for attending.
Thank you for attending. That's terrible. You're like back 10 years, like as far as e-com goes.
Yeah.
That's awful.
I have to go to a store.
Ugh. What if they're out of stock? What if you can't find it? What if they have two options?
It's unpredictable.
There's no reviews. How do you make a choice? How do you do it? Wild, wild west. I'll go current favorites. I don't know if I have a hate. I'm not a very hateful person. Actually, I could be critical. We're watching Yellowstone. Finally, welcome to 2020. I don't even know. We're watching that. It's good. You know, it's developers versus dirt dogs, people that got the land, ranch versus Native Americans. So it's very interesting. Everyone's fighting for land, and it's also a soap opera. Like there's violence and like terribleness, but I'm like, this is just so dramatic. So I actually love it and I hate it at the same time. I'm like, can they get over themselves? And was it Kevin Costner's the main character? He talks like Batman sometimes. Like you're like, why are you talking like Batman? Like he's like, do you want a cookie, Tate? There's donuts in the kitchen. Like you don't sound like that. Like this is really strange. So that's a favorite and hate, and then I'll stick with food too. Favorite cereal, right? Because I have a Galaxy Light in my room. I'm a child. I'm 35 years old. So what's your favorite cereal? I have this after I work out. Here you go. You have to go to Walmart. Sorry, you got to go to Walmart. Get the big bag. Yes, the bag, not a box. Get a bag of the s'mores cereal, marshmallows, Cocoa Puffs, Golden Grams. Take that, and you put chocolate protein shake in it. You're good to go. I mean, what's better than that? You get your protein, you get your cereal, you get your high fructose corn syrup, chemicals. It's not for the crunchy people out there, but it's good. There's my favorites.
I've been eating like regular plain Cheerios.
Okay.
Carla would not approve of your cereal, Andrew.
She would not approve of my cereal. I would not approve of her, whatever she's making. I would be like, I'm not here. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. So let's have a good time. So let's go. So the sad Cheerios, not even like Honey Nut. Anything?
Sometimes I'll mix them with the like oat medley one.
Wow. Risky.
And I eat them dry.
Oh, what the heck? You're like a baby learning to pick things up and get like the fine motor skills.
I'm like a hamster.
Yeah, hamster. This is therapy time for you. Oh my goodness. Okay. Poor Beth. You do have like little hands. So maybe you need to. Oh goodness. Julie, you have a favorite or hate?
Fun Mardi Gras throws, because we just finished Mardi Gras. It was Fat Tuesday on Tuesday. And so like different parades have different signature throws. So we went to my son's in the high school band. So we went to watch him. And one of the parade's tucks, they throw out decorated plungers and toilet brushes. Like people actually decorate them, wrap them in plastic. And from the so normally it's like cups and beads and stuffed animals and junk, that they throw out a ton of, but it's a big deal if you get one of the special throws. Like one parade, it's like decorated like high heel shoes, little glitter and everything. So we got a plunger and a toilet brush.
Is it hanging on the wall? Can you put it on your office wall behind you?
It's not. I think each son ended up taking one. So, but it's very fun. And it's crazy because there's all these people begging for toilet brushes.
That's like it sounds like a whole thing unless you live in, I don't know if it's all of Louisiana or just like New Orleans, but like that seems like all of greater New Orleans. I don't know what the word would be, but that seems like a very like, that's your culture now for parades and Mardi Gras, like, and no one else would get it.
Nobody else would get it.
There's Florida things.
No, we've said like if aliens came down and saw these people like looking up and begging for just junk, but it's lots of fun.
It looks like lots of fun. There's, what's the guy on TikTok? John Witherall. He has all the content and he just films all the parades. And to me, I'm like, this looks like the most amazing time. And there's just like people going down the street, but like the hype and energy and like excitement for it. I'm like, this is better than Main Street USA at Disney World.
And you might get hit in the head with a plunger.
You might get hit with a plunger.
Oh, you might. And it hurts when they hit you in the face with things. It hurts. But I had my in-laws from Kentucky here with us and they didn't know what to think.
They're probably like, this is the 4th parade we're going to. What's wrong with you people? Like, what's going on?
Oh, and she was getting that stuff for my son. Like she'd get in there. Grandma would fight for it.
Get out there, Grandma. Get out there, Grandma.
That is why I don't go to buffets.
You don't have to fight.
You don't fight over crab legs.
I'm not trying to shove someone out of the way for a piece of chocolate cake.
I want it to be brought to my table for me.
Yes.
Come on now. Any other hate? Do you have, no, that's not hate. That was a favorite.
No, that was a good thing.
Good.
No hates. No hates this week.
Well, you know what's fun is I'll read this outro. I don't even think we use it because I think it's pre-recorded, but I'm going to say it anyways because it's so much fun. So thanks for listening. Don't forget to become a member for free of DYC's All Access Community app for home builders and developers. Watch behind the scenes videos from the podcast, frequent exclusive postings and analysis from the DYC team, access to private hangouts, and more. See y'all.
See ya.